I haven't read a comic in. I
Dude, you
mean,
need to read comics.
it's been like over a month.
I've read a few, so I have something to talk about, I think.
I can talk about Daredevil and I don't know what
Let's
else.
spoil it all for Paul.
No.
Let's not do that.
Like how at the end, Matt dies and
Uh,
Foggy takes up the Daredevil mantle.
am I allowed to mention one death without going into details about who dies?
I would prefer that you didn't.
I
Paul,
mean, I'm just talking about what happens, like what brutal the brutality that's displayed, without explaining how. I just want to say how someone is killed.
Paul can
No,
take off
I
his
do not. I
headphones.
can take off my headphones if you've got to do that. Yeah, but
It's not
I
I don't
gonna
don't.
want to hear that.
spoil anything.
I
I,
think I
I
know
will
the
be
one.
waiting for it. If you say it, I'll be sitting there waiting for that moment,
If
and
it's
it
the
will be
one I'm
listening.
thinking of, there's a. It's it's best to go into that scene cold because you'll get shocked.
It is ridiculous if we're thinking of the same scene.
Yeah.
Actually, we're probably not. I think I probably know what scene you're thinking of.
Okay. There's two possible scenes in my
There's
head.
two disgusting deaths. I mean, there's many disgusting deaths, but
Yeah.
all right.
Hey, Paul.
Hey,
Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you earlier, but forgot because I'm bad. I tried editing that Turtle Jump episode, and it is like really jacked up for some reason. It's all out of sync. Would you be cool with just not running that one since it's not been published anyway?
which one?
The Zelda delay. I
I mean,
might,
if that's what you want to do,
I might could try to fix it, but it's so bad out of sync, and like,
that sucks.
yeah,
Why? Is that the one
because
we had to stop and start?
we had to stop and start like 3 times.
And that's probably like the worst thing ever to edit on Audacity.
It is because you have to slide it, zoom in, slide it just a little bit here and there, listen to it, zoom out, slide it around, zoom in, listen, slide it.
That's what she said. Um,
Exactly.
I'm doing a test right now, and I hear nothing.
Was that
I'm
live on air?
yeah, yeah, it was.
Yep, straight up.
This is all live.
Test, test.
Test. Whoa, it
Live,
just got
live.
super loud. Went from having no monitor to all of a sudden I can hear everything I'm saying. It was super, super loud. I have to take it down a little bit.
Take it down a notch.
How loud am I to you guys?
You're moderate. I mean, at a good
How about now?
sounds no different.
How about now?
Now it sounds just a little bit quieter.
How about now?
No different.
Word. I think I'm going to put it about right here then.
Mine's super quiet for some reason. Why'd you make mine quiet?
I didn't do it, it was you.
I don't believe in that. I want to turn up the gain a little bit. This is a test. A test. Or is it a test?
It is. It's a test. I know because I know about stuff like that.
Well,
What was that?
I bumped my microphone stand with a cup.
It was
oh
like,
well.
dong.
Boom.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to review. I'm racking my brain for something to review. I guess no, I do. Never mind. Fast and Furious 7.
Oh yeah, it's a movie.
So I'm good. I'm ready when
I haven't
it's
seen that.
I don't care. I'm spoiling it beginning to end.
Are you serious?
Are you really concerned about having a Fast and Furious movie spoiled?
Would you be?
No. They're all the same. It's the same movie over and over.
Spoiler: cars move fast, furiously.
People, cars move fast, men move furious.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Apparently,
make sense.
that series is like the timeline for it's complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's because of the yeah, it's because of the third movie, the
Tokyo
Drift.
Drift.
Yeah, because Tokyo Drift is technically like a prequel to the one that just came out. It's like it would go in the timeline after. It would go in the timeline after 6, even though it was made in the third in the series.
Yeah. And didn't Vin Diesel make like a short film that goes in there somewhere?
Really?
That's what I read on Polygon.
I'll have to find it. I didn't know. I had no
Yeah.
idea. That's intriguing.
Indeed. They had it posted up on Polygon. It looked like it was like 20 minutes long.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Does anyone know?
I was what I was going to talk about. I'm not sure what I should talk about.
Why don't you talk about that one thing?
What thing is that?
I don't know. Did you ever get a copy of Turtles?
Nope.
Because we need to talk about that.
Oh me, stupid comic shop. Didn't get my
Stupid comic
books.
shop.
Comic shops. Do those still exist?
They don't.
Seth.
Oh, sick burn on comic shops.
Guess where I
Not
went
exactly.
yesterday?
Where'd you
I went to the comic shop.
Comic book shop.
Heyo.
I went to I went to a comic book store at some point.
I went to Books A Million this last week.
I heard you got some. I heard you robbed them.
I didn't get a whole lot, but I could have bought more stuff, but I held back. But I did buy.
Books A Million on Earth.
Oh, it's the best. I bought the first volume of Marvel Now Daredevil, not Daredevil, Deadpool, which was $5.
What?
And then I bought a paperback, like a trade paperback that was like the Winter Soldier collection that had like the Winter Soldier story and the next arc after that for $5.
What?
So I was pretty pleased with that. Quite pleased. Quite pleased.
Can I go? I want to go.
Are we ready?
Yeah, you can
Here we
go. We'll go if you come in that later time, whenever that is.
Oh,
You can go that way.
did you go to London?
Don't want to go to
didn't.
London. Told you I don't care.
I didn't get to.
I hear there's werewolves in London.
An American
Werewolves
werewolf
in London.
in London. All right,
Ooh, I got
Alright.
an app to review.
cool. You guys ready?
You have an app to review?
An app.
Wait. No, Seth, I'm not ready. Quit pressuring me.
Oh my gosh!
That was intense. Alan,
So when's this
please stop yelling.
when's this Destiny thing come out?
May 19th.
Middle of May.
Same day as The Witcher.
Comes out 2 days after my movie.
What?
3 days. 3 days after my movie. I'll probably be busy that day. That whole week, actually.
Hmm.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ooh.
Huh.
Ooh, child. Things are
gonna get easier.
Yeah.
Ooh, child, things will get bright.
Brighter. Oh, I dropped the phone.
Ooh, child.
All right, guys. Y'all ready?
No.
I'm so glad we've been live for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, we've basically done nothing.
We've sang.
I'm ready if you guys are.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go. You ready?
Okay.
Paul, do you know what number this is?
141,
I have no clue. You tell me. I haven't been on.
episode 141.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3.
Wait. Let
Whoa.
me turn my monitor off. I don't want to be able to hear myself talk the whole time. I'm ready now.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
You're listening to Ancillary Characters, episode 141.
Who are they? And who are we dealing with?
Who the heck are you?
Who do you think you are?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who are these sick people?
And, who are these two attractive young people?
Who are those guys?
It's the Ancillary Characters podcast, the podcast of the website, ancillarycharacters.blogspot.com. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Seth Breedlove. I'm joined tonight by my pals from North Carolina,
Alan Boone.
from Kentucky,
Paul, Shirley.
and I have been gone, so I kind of forget how this works. What do I do now?
Banter.
Okay.
This is banter time.
Yeah, banter. Paul, how have you been?
I've been good. This doesn't feel natural.
It doesn't feel natural at all. What have you been up to?
How have you been, Paul?
How have you been?
Been good? I've been good. I went to the Pigeon Forge,
Mm-hmm.
the Gatlinburg, for a few days with my family. And by family, I mean like every one of my immediate to somewhat extended family. There were 29 of us in one cabin.
29 Shirleys?
I can't even.
29 people.
How many bedrooms was this cabin?
Let's see. The top floor had 2 bedrooms that were shut off to themselves, but then there was like one area that had like a big bunk bed, like a king-sized bunk bed, and like
Okay.
a bunch of the.
So there's like 6 of
Kings.
you in that.
Well, yeah, there was a bunch of them in there. Most of the kids stayed in that area.
Yeah.
The main floor had 2 like master bedrooms, and then the bottom floor had 4 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 8 bedrooms plus that one area with the big king-sized bunk beds and the pull-out couch beds for some of the younger kids.
Right. Right. And
Everyone.
we've talked before on the show about Gatlinburg because it's a place that I go as well.
Hmm.
But you got to go to the fabled Books A Million clearance section. So what did you buy? What did you buy there?
Well, it took all of my willpower not to just buy all the books that they had, really.
Mhm.
But I only walked out with a couple trades. I got the first trade of Deadpool, which I read like the first 2 issues of that, the Marvel Now Deadpool, when it was coming out, but then I just dropped it, figured I'd pick it up later. And then I got the trade paperback that's like the big 2-volume Winter Soldier storyline for $5. So
Mhm.
some steals. There was a lot of stuff there, though.
I want to go.
A lot of those Marvel Now hardcovers, a lot of which I've already picked up at Books A Million, like Avengers Volume 1, New Avengers Volume 1. They had like a few of the all new X-Men volumes. They had like the first Thor: God of Thunder volume. They had a bunch of stuff.
Did they have all old X-Men?
I don't think they did, actually. I don't think they had that.
Have we talked at all about the fact that you guys are going to C2E2 on this show?
Are we?
We mentioned it on the Twitter, but I don't think we mentioned it on here.
Okay. So yeah, Paul and Alan are going to C2E2. I am a potential maybe could go. I have a ticket, but it's coming. I thought it was gonna fall on like our least busy time of the month, and it turns out it is literally falling when we are sending the movie off to the replicator. So I'm not sure that it's gonna work out. But at any rate, Paul and Alan will be repping
We'll be there.
ancillary characters at C2E2 in Chicago, and I'm a potential maybe.
Mm.
If I had a better place to stay than with 6 men in a tiny hotel room, I might be even more prone to go. So if anyone I
Just get a
know,
room, man. Just get a
if
room.
anyone I know is, I don't want to spend a bunch of money. If anyone is going to be there and you like me, and I know you through Twitter, let me know if you have an empty bed or if we can share a bed.
If we can share a bed, he says.
I mean, look at me.
Tenderly.
I'm a completely normal guy. I'm just a man. Just a man asking another man to share his bed in Chicago.
Just a man riding a train
Just one. Let's all move on to another.
to
Another
Chicago. Train to Chicago.
Train to Chicago. Train to Chicago. I can't find my music cues. It's
You
been
got a
while.
press pass, didn't you?
What's that? Yes, I do have a press pass. It was shockingly easy to procure.
Yeah.
And I want to
Except for
go.
me.
Like, I really want to go. The idea of being there with you guys sounds so much fun to me.
Yeah, it will be fun.
Yeah. I don't know right now because of when it's going to fall if I can go. So,
I got my press pass badge today in the mail. It came today.
yeah, mine came on Friday.
I've had mine a while, but it's not a press pass because they hate me.
That's true.
I don't know why they didn't give you a pass, Alan. I seriously don't know.
I don't know why.
my
apologies.
great grandfather probably wronged the person who was announced great grandfather, and they've held a grudge, and it's one of those feud type things. It's got to be it.
He saw your application popped up on his computer, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Boone!"
So like there was a schedule that came with mine, and on Friday it opens at 10
Mhm.
to professionals.
Right.
So is that press?
I don't think so.
What's the difference?
Maybe it is. I'm confusing this with the Wizard World that I went to.
I would think professionals would be like,
People are going to set up and sell?
I think press is actually allowed in there, but I'm not sure.
Me
except
neither.
I can't go.
Not sure. Oh, that's true.
I would have to go in alone, Seth, unless you were there at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Yeah, Paul, can you come here, pick me up, and take me? You know what?
Nope.
If I could get Sean to go, my friend, boy, we're deep inside baseball right now.
We
but
really are.
If I could get Sean to drive here from Kentucky and then ride with me, I would go for
What's
sure.
baseball?
So maybe I'll
2-2.
text him once we go to the music. All right, we're going to the music.
Let's go. What's up?
Sorry, it had been a while
Who's
since we
Paul?
did it.
What's up with Paul? That's what this is called. It's a segment where Paul, myself, tells everyone out there in listener land what's up in the world of comics and comic-related news or movie news. You know, just whatever.
What else?
Basically, we just talk about whatever in this segment. It's basically like a second version. It's like the sequel to the banter segment. That's what it is.
Mhm.
That's what we're in.
Mhm.
Did you guys hear about this Green Lantern Star Trek crossover comic?
Heard about it. What's it about?
I don't really know what it's about, but it's like a crossover between Hal Jordan Green Lantern and I guess the new Star Trek universe, and it's like being co-published by DC and IDW. Because obviously Green Lantern is DC and IDW owns the license for Star Trek.
How's that going to work? Because on Earth in Green Lantern universe, they don't have that kind of space flight yet. But in Star Trek, they've got space flight.
I'm sure it's going to be. I mean, they're different publishers, man. I'm sure it's going to
Is it in
be.
canon?
I'd sincerely doubt it.
Why not?
It's like that X-Files Ninja Turtles crossover that they did.
That's in canon. They've referenced that in the Ninja Turtles.
Is it seriously in canon?
I don't know about that one, but they totally referenced the Ghostbusters in Ninja
Well,
Turtles.
I guess they're both by the same publisher, so I mean it makes sense, even though it makes no sense.
I mean, it's just the Ghostbusters.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
It's sensible. I
It's
really
not.
have no idea what you're saying. Who's writing it?
I really don't know.
Who's arting it?
Thanks, Alan. Thank you. Thank you for laying bare my my faults here. This is my fault, guys. I don't
it's
know.
okay. You don't have
Do you know
internet.
who's writing it, Paul? Paul? Do you happen to know who's writing or doing? Do you know any of the creative team on it?
Do you know who's publishing it?
IDW and DC Comics.
Okay.
How can they both publish it? Like, whose press are they going to use?
Hey, Alan, why don't you take those
They're
buckets
they're
of internet that you
splitting
have
every other page.
and look it up? Why don't you just look it up?
I don't have internet buckets. I just have internet droplets.
Did you all see that Ant-Man trailer?
I
Anyone?
didn't.
Oh
I
man,
didn't.
Seth, you needed to watch it.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
man.
I could not care less about Ant-Man.
Maybe this will
Seth,
make you
come
care.
on.
I
Get
don't
real.
even
We
care
all
about
know.
Avengers 2.
What?
We
I'm
all
sorry.
know that you secretly worship a shrine of Ant-Man at night before sleep.
I do love
Tiny
Scott
Shrine.
Lang Ant-Man, and I love the Ant-Man, the Eric O'Grady Ant-Man, and I even like Hank Pym Ant-Man. But this movie looks awful. I mean, from the one trailer I saw,
Yeah, from the one teaser trailer you saw 3 months ago, this movie looks
right.
awful.
Did
It
you
was-
watch that one?
To be fair, it was like 1 minute and 30 seconds. I mean, it wasn't that short. It was a lot of footage, and it looks terrible.
I will say this: I wasn't blown away by that trailer, but I actually really enjoyed the new one.
Okay.
I thought it was a much better trailer.
I'll just say that Daredevil has potentially ruined me for every Marvel anything to come after.
It's
this.
different. It's a different thing.
I don't care. I'm telling you, it doesn't
It's a
matter.
different thing.
It doesn't matter.
Look, every Marvel property can't be TVMA, Seth.
No, I'm not saying because of that. I'm just saying the level of quality, and I don't want to get into this now, but I'm saying
It's
the
really
level of quality on Daredevil is unparalleled outside of Nolan's Batman movies.
What do you?
Unparalleled.
Okay. So it's not
Paul,
even.
Paul, listen.
It's not even
Listen,
approached.
I want you to listen to this word I'm about to tell you. All right?
It's unparalleled, isn't it?
Unparalleled.
Is it perpendicular?
It's unparalleled.
Okay.
Now, I did tell Paul, remember I texted you and said this is at least on the level of the top Avengers, or top Marvel movies, like Avengers.
Which would be
and Winter Soldier.
Avengers and Winter Soldier, exactly. So, Winter Soldier was a great movie, Seth.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is actually
You-
probably my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, you just dumped buckets of praise on it, and now you just peed all over it.
Daredevil poops all over Winter Soldier's chest.
Gosh, have you finished the whole season?
I am 2 episodes away. I
I've
haven't
seen one
watched.
episode.
I haven't watched 11 hours of anything especially in 2 days. What?
Okay. Full disclosure, I'm in the middle of moving. We just got back from Pigeon Forge. We were supposed to move like a week and a half ago. It didn't happen. Kept having to wait, and now we got back, and we've got this week basically to get everything moved. And it just so happens that Daredevil came out last weekend. Why couldn't they have released it like 2 weeks ago? Then I would have pounded it out.
Paul, you knew it was going to come out this week for months. You're the one who decided to move.
Yeah, that's all
Well,
on
it's
you.
not- It's all on me. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
All I want to do is watch Daredevil. That's what I'm trying to say. All I've wanted to do for the last like 4 days. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have just sat in the cabin on like Friday all day and just watched Daredevil.
We got to stop talking about Daredevil because it's literally the only thing I have to review.
Okay. Well, we
Ant-Man.
literally haven't. We honestly haven't said much about it. But Ant-Man. Let's talk about Ant-Man.
Yeah, let's
I
talk
like
about
the
it.
What did you think of the trailer, Alan? Tell us.
I liked it. It was cool to see him. Like before, we didn't really see him in action.
True.
This time, we saw him running around with ants. We saw him on a train fight,
That was
which I thought was
great.
hilarious.
I really liked that scene.
Uh,
I won't spoil.
And we got to see him fighting big people while he's small, which I thought was neat. The biggest
was
worry
neat.
that I had about the movie was that it would end up, like, the shrinking stuff would end up looking really stupid. But the trailer made me think, they got this.
Yeah,
and-
it did. It looked good. It looked smooth.
And it was funny, too. There were a couple of haha, LOL moments.
Yeah, but it wasn't funny the way Guardians of the Galaxy was. Like, I don't expect that this movie is going to be over the top funny. I think it's going to be funny in the way that like Iron Man is funny, a lot of jokes, but
Yeah.
still a pretty serious tone. Whereas Guardians of the Galaxy was one gag after another,
Yeah.
and I mean it delivered emotionally in a
I
very
thought-
very strong way.
I thought when you said it was funny like Iron Man, like you were saying it was funny like Iron Man 3 was laughably awful. Like I
Well-
was sitting there in the theater laughing at how terrible it was. So I thought it was that kind of funny.
Well, no, the first Iron Man was all the Iron Man movies had jokes,
Right.
but they weren't funny movies.
Mostly the script. Oh, you meant real jokes.
Gosh,
I liked Iron Man 1 and 2.
I didn't love Iron Man 2.
Iron Man
But
2.
I did like it. I really liked Iron Man 1. Iron Man 3 I did not like, but I really need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I didn't like Iron Man 2 the first time I watched it, but the second time I watched it, I actually liked it.
I didn't hate it, but it didn't blow me away. If we're being honest, when it comes to the Marvel movies, Captain America, honestly, both of the Captain America movies stand up way stronger than any of the other franchises that they have built on up to this point. Like, the first Cap was good. I mean, it was very good. It was very nostalgic, and I really liked that whole era they had it set in. It was a little cheesy, but it was Captain America, so I was okay with that. And then,
Yeah.
Winter Soldier was. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, I'm just listening to you.
I couldn't hear anything.
He totally froze, Paul. So I'm not sure if you're back right now or not.
Yeah, he did this the last like 7 times we recorded Turtle Jump.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it caught up. Typically, it does eventually. Anyway, so for me, if we're talking Marvel movies, and I am well known for my lack of love for the Marvel movies. The Thor movies do not hold up. Thor 2
Right.
is horrendously awful. I know you guys kind of like it. I know Alan loves it.
I
But-
didn't love it, but I kind of liked it. I thought it was fun.
Right. Right. I hated it, but like, I actually like the X-Men franchise over at Fox way more than most of the Marvel stuff at Disney, with the
I
exception
wouldn't say
of
most.
Avengers, Guardians, and Winter Soldier. I really don't care for Thor or even any of the 3 Iron Man movies.
I like the first Iron Man. I like the first Thor. I like both of the Cap movies, and I like Iron Man 2. I just think it was lacking in some areas. I didn't care for Iron Man 3, but Guardians of the Galaxy was just incredible. Winter Soldier was fantastic, and then the Avengers obviously was great. So
I really liked
To say
Age
that-
of Ultron.
yeah, that's the best one yet.
Yeah, the comic?
No,
No, the comic was
no,
terrible.
no.
Comic is
Comic
great.
was, comic was
One of the
awful.
best comics of all time.
But Fox, talking about the X-Men movies, I mean, the first one's pretty good. You know, the second one was really, really good. I mean, that scene at the beginning with Nightcrawler, like, breaking into the White House that just blew my mind.
Right.
But The Last Stand,
Well, no, but I'm
Not great.
talking about, if you're talking about what I'm directly talking about actually is X-Men First Class,
oh yeah,
the Days of Future Past, and the Wolverine, the Wolverine,
Japanese one.
the Japanese one. Although I do love Wolverine Orange.
I bet you do.
No.
Bet you do.
Not just kidding, it's awful.
What about Apocalypse?
Yeah, that looks good too.
Yeah.
I really liked Agent Carter. That was a good one.
I haven't
Yeah,
watched
I
it
enjoyed
yet.
it a lot.
Is it
I
still
really,
on?
really enjoyed it.
It's done.
No, it's over.
It's over. So it was
It's like
like
eight
a mini. It's like done completely. They're not.
No,
They haven't confirmed one way or the other.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it was really
They want to bring it
solid
back.
series.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really honestly didn't have much in the way of expectations for Agent Carter,
Yeah.
but about 2 episodes in, I was more hooked on it than I ever have been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So I hate Agents of Shield, and
Even current.
actually, can we? Well, finish up the news. I really want to get to talking about Daredevil. I mean, everything I want to talk about is Daredevil.
I can't even remember if there was anything else I was going to bring up. You really do need to watch that Ant-Man trailer, though. So.
Yeah, I will.
I
What
was going to mention that Kevin Feige has confirmed that we're looking at a Peter Parker Spider-Man. It won't be Miles Morales. He will be in high school. And I think they're expecting a cast announcement soon. I mean, they've already announced the directors and such, and they've got everything going for the third Cap. So soon it's going to be filming, so they're going to have to get a cast out for him soon.
I'm excited to know that. Nothing against
Me too.
Miles, but I like Peter Parker.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? It's like you say. It's not to say that we don't like Miles Morales, but who would choose him over Peter Parker? He's been Spider-Man for all our lives.
Yeah. I say bring Miles in later. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
What about Psylocke? Who do you think they're going to cast for her?
So I saw that. I was going to mention that too.
Psylocke as from X-Men.
Yeah, she's going to be in the X-Men Apocalypse movie.
No, they cast Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. He's going to be great.
Oh God.
It's actually Olivia Munn.
Who's that?
Funny. Olivia Munn is the girl. Well, she was from Attack of the Show really first, wasn't she? Wasn't that where she got started?
I have no
Oh
idea.
man, is she the one from Green Lantern?
No, that's
That's Idris
Blake
Elba.
Lively.
Idris Elba. Yeah, I loved Idris Elba in that show.
You guys are the worst.
Idris Elba was probably the best actress in that movie. Actually, really, she was the highlight of Green Lantern.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Take it or leave it.
All right.
Hi, and welcome to Take It or Leave It, the part of the show where we take things, we leave things, and that's pretty much all we do. We take them or we leave them.
Daredevil.
Between.
Let's talk
Daredevil.
about Daredevil.
Yes, Red Batman. So, how much have each of you seen?
I'm at episode 11. I finished last night.
Paul, how much have you seen?
I have seen the first episode.
Okay, I've seen all of it.
Okay.
Because I have no self-control.
I tried, but I had to go to bed last night. I was going to try to get through it, but I watched 5 episodes on the first night and then a bunch the next night. So what I was going to say during the last segment is that Daredevil, to me, was... I love Daredevil, the comic. He's probably my favorite Marvel character. And actually, he was the first Marvel character that I loved.
I
guess
don't know what to say right now. I feel like every time that you speak from here on, you're just going to say that Daredevil is your favorite everything from everything.
Dude, look at my comic collection. The most Marvel comics I have are Daredevil.
Okay.
I have Daredevil action figures. I liked the Ben Affleck movie. So anyway, when they announced this, I had no excitement for this at all because...
Even though he's your favorite Marvel character.
Right, because I just kept thinking, well, I hate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's Marvel TV. So I was not excited. And then I saw the trailer, and the trailer was good.
It was.
I have
it was
a hard
intriguing.
time. I still have a hard time getting too excited for Marvel stuff because I'm still hurt from the lack of quality on the Thor movies and some of the other ones. You know, I'm just starting. My faith is just starting to be rebuilt because of Guardians and Avengers and Winter Soldier. So anyway, so I sat down and watched this, and within like 5 minutes of this starting,
Oh man.
I was in love. And
Can
then,
we just talk about that first episode right here?
Let's do it.
I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm already excited. Alan's been talking to me about how much he's loving it. I see you on Twitter tweeting about it. And all I want to do is go find a freaking TV and watch it. And I can't. I didn't get to watch the first episode till I think it was Saturday night, pretty late. And it was so late that I didn't get to watch the second one. I had to go to my parents to watch. I went to my parents to watch it with my dad because we're in the process of moving. And by the time the opening credits roll, with that little scene they put together of Lady Liberty and all that, I'm like, oh man, this show. That opening scene with him as the kid, they just throw that origin right out there and move on. They don't spend a whole episode on it. They don't do anything like that. And then here you have him basically going all Batman Begins on a bunch of guys, and man, I was in. That was it. That was all it took.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. There's a fight scene in the second episode that
I keep hearing
literally
there's a fight scene in the second.
had me in tears. I am not saying it was like emotional tears. I'm saying I was like ready to come up off the couch and start fist pumping and kicking the air. It's just a really... I have to say, what astonished me about the whole show is just the level of quality across everything. The writing, the acting, the fight choreography, the cinematography is unbelievable. The friggin' lighting is unbelievable. The lighting on this is like movie-level lighting. Like, I know that's an absurd thing to notice, but you'll notice it as it goes on because, like, the quality of everything is so high. It's ridiculous. It makes every TV show that I've ever seen that I thought was good look like garbage. Not necessarily like it's not a well done TV show, but the just visually, this thing is so above everything else. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Like the lighting is just perfect, like you were saying, and the set pieces, they look dirty and grim and grimy.
Mhm.
And I've never been to Hell's Kitchen. I hear it's not as bad as it used to be in real life anymore. But like I just felt like, I was in a very scary place. Like I could walk a corner and get stabbed. In most of the places. Like even I loved how real the Nelson and Murdoch room felt. It didn't feel like a set piece. It felt like somewhere I could walk into in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. That first, when you're being introduced to these characters, you immediately get a great feel of the relationship between Foggy and Matt Murdock. That Matt is the kind of like when I say bleeding heart, I mean he's the one that wants to help people. He's the one that's he's kind of the he's the foundation, I guess you'd say. And Foggy's like looking to make a buck. I mean the first scene we have with him is him going and bribing a policeman to give them inside information by buying cigars for the policeman's mother. I'm sitting there thinking that's brilliant. I mean, and the guy who's playing Foggy, I know that Seth made some derogatory comments about him back when the trailer came out. He's a great choice.
He was in Mighty Ducks. All right.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the Mighty Ducks man.
Yeah, he was in the Hunger Games, Mockingjay.
He was.
He's fine. I can't go into too much. Honestly, what I would like to do is when Paul finishes it, come back and revisit the whole series.
Absolutely.
And do a review so we can talk a little bit more in depth about story stuff. Because like right now, I can't get into stuff that I really love. I mean, there's a lot of story elements to this that I adore, and I cannot talk about them without ruining it for Paul. So.
And I hate that. I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Well, what about that one character and then the other one?
Yeah.
And they do stuff.
Yeah, that one time they did stuff in that one place.
Yeah. Like I wasn't sure really what to expect story-wise from this. I wasn't sure if it was going to. I mean, whenever I heard it was going to be TVMA, I thought it was going to be, grittier than normal. But I mean, this wasn't just like gritty. This was like, darkens your soul at some points. But it never got so dark. It never lost humor. There was always still humor and bright spots throughout it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the whole series, obviously, but even in that first episode, there was a lot of humor to kind of balance it out. But one of the things there's just a lot to say. I'm going to try and compress this so I don't go on forever and ever. But the fight scenes, just in that first episode, I'm sitting there watching with my dad, and my dad is the kind of guy, he's a man's man, and he's impressed by, like crazy fights and cool stuff like that. I don't know, he just really likes to see that. Like he's not a football fan, but he likes to watch a running back plow through and just run all the way down the field and just shake guys off. He's that kind of guy. And we're watching this, and when the big fight scene comes toward the end where he's fighting that assassin, he's just like, man, these guys are hitting each other. Like it doesn't look at all choreographed. It doesn't look like they've planned it. It looks rough and gritty and dirty fighting, and it is just it's beautiful and it's perfect Daredevil.
Yeah, it's Daredevil. It felt more to me like Frank Miller's Daredevil from the 80s than anything. And I expected it to be a little more Bendis-y, and it definitely borrows Bendis, I think, but there's some of the iconography, especially like with his hat, the mask he's using and all that stuff, but there's direct panels that I noticed that have been in other Daredevil comics. I mean, there's a lot of throwbacks to Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Alan's been saying ever since he saw it that he wants to read all the Daredevil comics.
I do. I've read Mark Waid's stuff. I've read Brubaker's stuff where he's in prison. I haven't read Miller's or what's his name, Bendis's.
Yeah.
And now I want to really badly. I was looking it up on Amazon the other day, but I should have just bought everything when Comixology had their big sale, but
yeah,
I was trying to exercise self-control. I'm bad at that though.
See, Daredevil's like Fantastic Four in that there is a plethora of awesome runs on it.
Yeah.
There's also
we need to read Miller's one with JR. Is it The Man Without Fear?
It's The Man Without I don't have my comics in here. I can't remember. I think it is The Man Without
I think
Fear.
it's Man Without Fear. We should do that for the show sometime soon. Because I actually bought the trade.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I bought the trade of, and we needed to.
That was
we
the
need to
first
do that.
Daredevil comic I ever read.
Mm.
I'll tell you one thing I really loved about the ending to the first episode, and then we can move on if you guys want to.
Mhm.
But they do that whole episode, and it's kind of you're getting an image of just how dark things really are in Hell's Kitchen, and how the corrupt and the evil people are basically cashing in on the destruction caused by the Avengers in New York City. And you've got Daredevil, and he's kind of like this shining light. There's like, wow, this guy's he's Batman. He's showing up and he's fighting for the people that no one else will fight for a little bit. And you've got Karen Page and how everything turns around for her, and you get this really cool scene with her and Foggy and Matt there, and she's like cooked on that nice meal. And then the episode ends with a montage of just death.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is dead. Everyone that was involved that, basically messed up is dead. The guy that they tried to blackmail, that tried to do that earlier in the show, I won't spoil it, they're dead. Everyone's dead. And it's just like you see, wow, really all he did was make things worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll say, without spoiling anything, like, the way they handled crime and the way they set up the villain in this is like nothing I've ever seen or expected to see in this.
Can't wait.
I admit I haven't read a lot of Kingpin stuff. The most I've seen was in like Ultimate Spider-Man. But the Law and Order guy, Vincent D'Onofrio, whatever, I wasn't sure about him. He was good in Law and Order, but picturing him as the Kingpin was weird to me. But my goodness, does he nail it? And then, like you were saying, Paul, just the darkness. Throughout this whole series, I was wondering, is he going to pull it off? Is this going to end on a happy note or a sad note, or what's going to happen? I have no idea. And I had no idea, and I'm not going to say what happened, but...
That's a really cool thing about it is nobody really knows what this is. I mean, it's a mini-series, I guess you could say. It's not like necessarily season one, even though it is season one. Who knows if they're going to do a second season, or if this will just bleed into that Defenders thing. Going into it, you know that this is the first of 4 shows that Marvel's making. This, a.k.a. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and then the Immortal Iron Fist, which will lead into the Defenders miniseries. So it's like, is this going to become a show all its own?
Gosh, that Iron Fist show, if it is anywhere
If it's anything,
near
oh my gosh, can
this
you imagine?
level, it's going to be absurd.
I can't even think about. I just can't even think about it.
I just
Like
pooped.
Kunlun, all that. Oh man, just give us the David Aja, Matt Fraction, Brubaker, Iron Fist story on the silver screen, please.
Mm.
Yeah.
When's the next one supposed to come out? Have they dated that yet?
It's
They haven't dated it. The
they
AKA Jessica
married
Jones is the next one. I don't think they married it either.
I don't. She's not married yet. They're courting.
Have they taken it out to coffee?
Yeah. Well, no, they go out almost every night anymore. It's getting pretty serious. But can we should probably move on because we're at the 35
Probably.
mark. I'm gonna just review something real quick as long as I'm talking
Go
about
for it.
filmed entertainment. The Fast and Furious movie, Fast and Furious 7, also known as Furious 7, directed by James Wan, who did the first Saw movie, and that Conjuring movie, which I hear is great. Still haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
he directed this, and it's the Paul Walker send-off movie. I'll say that it's the most over the top of all of them, like by a landslide. It's the most over the top. It's approaching superhero levels of absurdity. But it's also a lot of fun and extremely entertaining 2.5 hours. And the only downside to it, I think, is the stuff with I don't want to spoil it because I don't think Paul's seen it yet. So the way they had to handle Paul Walker's absence is obvious, but it's only obvious because we're aware he died. Like if you watched it and you weren't aware of that, you probably wouldn't notice it. So, but since we're aware of it, it's pretty obvious what's going on as it's happening. But they still handled it really well, and there's a really touching finale scene to it. People left the theater I was in sobbing, so that was kind of odd. But as far as a Fast and Furious movie goes, it's a blast, and the action scenes are just incredible and hilarious too. This is probably the funnest and funniest of the entire series. It's still not my favorite though. I still think Fast 5 is my favorite, but great movie. Furious 7, highly recommended. Go see it.
I hear they're trying to get the director to do the Aquaman movie.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That would be cool.
It would. So who's next?
I volunteer as tribute.
You volunteer? Go for it.
Yeah, unless you wanted to go.
No, go for it.
I don't even want to go now.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
just-
go. No, I'm
okay.
just kidding.
No, guys, I go. Furious 7 from the director of Saw
Okay.
and
All right.
Conjuring.
All right.
Okay.
Alan, go ahead.
So I was thinking about reviewing Convergence number 0, but it was crap, so I decided not to. Art was good. Ethan Van Sciver, whatever. The story was incoherent, though. But I haven't read number 1 yet. I've got it sitting in there. Really don't have any desire to, but I will. So instead, I'm going to review The Multiversity Mastermen.
Mm.
This is written by Jim Morrison and drawn by Grant Lee. Wait, no. Grant Morrison and Jim Lee. And this is about the Overman, who is basically Nazi Superman. The art in this, it's Jim Lee, and it's good Jim Lee. And there's some panels that I think look kind of rushed, I don't know, but those are few and far between. Overall, I thought it was pretty great. And the opening page is one of the most amazing yet strange things I've ever seen in a comic book. I'm not going to spoil what's on that opening page because you have to experience that yourself. But I opened it, looked at it, closed it, looked at the camera, and then opened it again and started reading. So yeah, basically it's Superman. He's ruling the world, the Nazi world. After basically because of him they won the war, but because Superman's inherently good, he finds out about all the bad stuff the Nazis did and puts it into it. But Uncle Sam, not just America personified, but the actual physical person, Uncle Sam, who's a superhero, and his freedom fighters are quote unquote terrorists fighting Overman and his Nazi dudes. So they basically strike up against the Nazis, and Uncle Sam and Superman fight each other. And it's really cool. Like, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's a very unique look at. I mean, it reminds me of Red Sun, obviously, because that's Russian Superman. This is Nazi Superman. But we see Aquaman, we see Batman, except it's Leatherwing and other people, and other names, but same idea. We see them working for Superman, or Overman, but we also see. I mean, they're basically villains, even though they're the people who won the war. So they're heroes to the vast majority of citizens. And Superman in this isn't necessarily bad because he righted the wrongs that Hitler had. But I don't know. I thought it was really clever. And Jimmy Olsen in this is pretty cool. He's a newscaster. Yeah, I'm taking it.
I'll have to read it. I haven't read a comic in over a month.
Yeah.
Seth, you need to read comics.
It's worth
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this. I'm a little busy. I mean, just a little.
Just a little bit. I will say that the Multiversity Guidebook, which I didn't read for a long time because I thought it was just like a little extra dilly. I didn't think it was an actual story. It's got a decent story in it. You don't have to read all the extra stuff, but it ties into this ever so slightly. You don't have to read it to get this, but some of the things that happen in this issue make a little more sense if you've read the guidebook. But
Yeah.
its story is really cool. It's
I
got
recommend it.
a Savannah core. Oh, have you read it?
Yeah, I bought it when it came out.
Cool.
Honestly, I just thought it was another like weird trade dress for a typical issue of Multiversity because it's been such an odd series, kind of the way it's marketed and everything to begin with. But yeah, I liked it.
Word.
Big Bird.
So I'll finish it up with I want to review a couple issues, actually a little story arc in Guardians of the Galaxy. I've been catching up recently. And I read issues 18 through 20, which were it was a standalone story arc. It was an original Sin tie-in, but not really. Basically, it was written by Bendis with art by Ed McGuinness, and it told the story of what really happened between Star-Lord, Drax, and Richard Rider, the other Nova, back when he died and they went into the Cancerverse. I won't go into all the details of the story. It's a pretty straightforward little thing where basically Star-Lord, Richard Rider, and Drax were trapped in the Cancerverse with Thanos, and they kept fighting him and killing him over and over again, and they had the Cosmic Cube with them. And it was a really kind of crazy story. The art was really cool by Ed McGuinness. It's obviously always fun to see Ed McGuinness drawing books like these, big action books, which is basically what this was. It was one big explosion after another. And it was set in the backdrop of Star-Lord being grilled by Gamora about what really happened, and that he had lied to her, and she just didn't believe, basically the story he had told her. And when it comes down to it, it's actually a pretty moving story about how that Nova sacrificed himself and made them promise not to tell anyone, especially Gamora, to save all of their lives. Basically, in the end, he wields the power of the Cosmic Cube to try and get them out of there. He also tries to kill Thanos, but Thanos survives, obviously, because he always survives. He is pretty much indestructible. But it was just a really cool story about, it kind of showed this side of the old Nova. And if you haven't read it yet, the new stuff that they're doing with, what's the kid's name? Sam. It's really good. I've really enjoyed it. But if you haven't read any of the old Nova stuff, who wrote that, Seth? The one with the Abnett and Lanning. Did they write the Nova book too? I can't remember.
I did.
I don't know.
I don't have a clue.
Are you talking about the Annihilation tie-in?
Yeah, like that stuff.
I think that was Abnett and Lanning.
I'm not sure, but either way, I read most of their run on Guardians of the Galaxy way back when, and the Nova stuff tied into it really heavily. And basically, he was imbued with the power of, what was it, 100 Nova men, right? He was a Centurion. Was that it? Or basically, he had the powers of all of the Nova Corps because he was the last one left. So he was very, very strong. Right. And that was a really, really good read. So it was kind of cool to have a chance to get a send-off. I haven't actually read the story that this is all tying into where he dies, but I really enjoyed it. I haven't been loving Guardians, the comic, but I did like this arc. Thought it was pretty good.
I think that does it for this show. I think
that'll do.
That'll do, pig. Yeah, you can find us on the web at ancillarcharacters.blogspot.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/ancillarcharacters. We're also on Twitter at ancillartweets. Paul's on Twitter at jollygreen05. Alan's on Twitter at kallenboone. I'm on Twitter at sethbreedslove. And you can find Paul and Alan at Turtle Jump Show, which is their video game podcast. They're on Twitter. You can find episodes of that show at turtlejump.com. Turtlejumpshow.com? What is it? I do this every episode.
Turtlejump.com.
Turtlejump.com. And until next week, I believe that does it. And we are wrapping up. Oh, you can pre-order Minerva Monster at grassmangear.com. That's the movie I directed. I think we're done.
We did it.
Ayo.
What episode is this?
Paul said something. I forget.